Hi people, and hello my Chili Gun Carnage crew. It's Chili here from Live Listener Race, bringing you a weekly news update, still on a show that we have no name for. So make sure to comment below what your thoughts should be on what this, weekly podcast thing should be called. Anyway, we're going to be covering a few weird topics here, a lot of controversial stuff as well. We're going to briefly mention Elon Musk and Randy Blythe in regards to what he has said. We're going to be talking about the Sex Pistols and Ticketek, because screw them. And we're going to be mentioning as well what Clown has to say about a possible new Slipknot record. We're also going to be mentioning the Exodus thing and Tim Lambesis with his new allegations. So let's get into this episode. We've got a lot to cover. It's been a few weeks, so quickly, I hope you've all had a great holidays and enjoyed your break. I certainly have, probably a bit too much, and I'm feeling it. But let's jump into the first point here, which is Randy Blythe versus Elon Musk. Now, yes, I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of the Elon Musk situation that's going on. However, there have been many musicians that have come out and said, F that guy, he's an asshole, and there's been lots of people who defend him, blah, 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 blah. It's a very confusing situation. I'm not going to comment on the Elon Musk thing, but I will say this, what Randy Blythe has to say, because this is a big statement. It's a long one. It was on his Instagram stories, but his quote is, "It's taken me a couple of days to wrap my head around this one. I've tried to consider every angle. Maybe he's a Nazi, maybe he's just trolling, maybe he's just so socially awkward he can't control himself. Who knows? The motherfucker is weird. But one thing is blatantly obvious, he is a fucking asshole. Does Elon Musk have Asperger's? Oh, I definitely believe so. That doesn't mean he's not a complete asshole. The two of them are not mutually exclusive. By the way, now, for fuck's sake, he also named his son a name. I can't even pronounce it. It's just stupid. But who would do that, of course, to his child other than a pure and unadulterated thoroughbred prick? I know a few people with autism. Not a single one of them has ever remotely reminded me of Hitler. Even if it was an autism-induced mistake, he refuses to cop it. And of course that tells us everything that we need to know, because you see, that's what people with correctly calibrated moral compasses do. They admit their mistakes. Supposedly Musk may become an actual government employee at some point. That means we the people will be paying his salary, not that he really needs it. So as a tax-paying citizen of the United States, I have a request for the 47th president. Please put your ketamine-fueled pet rocket monkey back in his cage so he can do the things that he's suited for. Obviously, appearing in public is not one of them. Oh, and of course, fuck all Nazis. And that is true. He's put the song as well in the background there of Napalm Death, and their second favourite song, Nazi Punks Fuck Off. And I just want to say, Randy Blythe, maybe he will start incorporating that song into his live performances. Who knows? That's going to be seen, I guess, in the future. But we shall see. I don't think Elon's going to reply to him in any way, shape or form. It certainly would be interesting if he does. I mean, who would love to see a Randy Blythe versus Elon Musk stoush on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days? That would be pretty intriguing to see. So it's already early in the year, and who knew Randy Blythe would be making comments like this to Elon Musk? This is like one of those random things that no one could really anticipate, I guess. So, yeah, that's not a great start to the year. I gotta say, it's definitely been an interesting one. So, yeah, look, I mean, it's gonna be a long 4 years, I guess. Many people will be saying about that part of it, but definitely keep an eye on Randy Blythe and I guess what's going to be coming out of the future there. I've been pumping a bit of Lamb of God recently as well, just to go back to that, and I'm like, shit, yeah, this is good music. This is good tunes. I want to give him a bit of a shout out, I guess, as well. So that's the Elon Musk thing. I'm going to keep that one very short and simple. I don't want to delve too much further into it. Now, what I do want to delve into in more depth is the following one, which is that the Sex Pistols have apparently reunited and are currently touring Australia and New Zealand for the first time in 30 years. Yes, that's right. You heard that sentence right. Sex Pistols have reformed, coming out to Australia for the first time in 30 years. This is a band that was around for like 2 years maximum. It was very spontaneous, very, combustible. And of course, pretty much they split up because Sid Vicious died. So yes, of course, Sid Vicious is not part of the band and won't be on this one. Now, the other thing as well is that we are not going to be seeing the one and only Johnny Rotten on this tour. He's been replaced by the... I'm trying to think of what his name is. He's part of that group that did the Gallows. And he was part of Gallows. Frank Carter. Trying to think of his name. Really good musician in regards to, the singing that he did on that. I loved Gallows Music, Great Britain. I think that record was. It was freaking amazing. And I think he's great. But when you talk about Sex Pistols coming out, I mean, come on, man. This is like a flash in a pan scenario, what Sex Pistols had to offer. And I don't think that they should really come out and do more. Look, what the Sex Pistols had to offer back in the day was very much a flash in the pan scenario. Yeah, they changed the whole culture. They pretty much created a whole sub-genre, or rather a genre of music out of it. But, this is almost 50 years after the fact. They should not be reuniting, they should not be retouring, and certainly not touring with the current band that they are at. It's a cash grab. Let's call it what it is. This is a cash grab because I want to check it out. I'm like, okay, this is intriguing. Let's see what is, the ticket price, for example. Tickets are starting from $160 to see the band, and this is not the glorious members that you really know. This isn't Johnny Rotten on stage, certainly nowhere, and all of these guys are not in their prime, excluding Frank possibly, but it's you're talking about musicians who are coming up to their 70s performing music that was played in pubs and clubs that were tiny and pogo dancing, whatever you want to call it, moshing and shit. This is not the case. This is a sad state of affairs with the musicians reuniting, and it's pure greed, it's pure cash grab, and it's tarnished the image of the band in doing so. I haven't seen any interviews from Johnny Rotten, and I know what he's going to say. He's going to hate the entire fucking thing, but you know what? He should find it very distasteful. That being said, though, he reunited the band for a one-off show for London at the Olympics, didn't he? That's... yeah, not much that's not better at all. In fact, it's worse. Probably worse than this. But, at the end of the day, I'm looking at it going, okay, this is $160 for a band that of has-beens for their retirement funds at the end of it. So, I'm looking at it going, there's a big issue with tickets. And, in particular, because 9 Inch Nails, they've just announced their, tour recently. Trent Reznor coming back out on the circuit. He's going to be doing a tour. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. They're not touring Australia yet, but let's just see what's, the tour dates. And I'm going through the list, and there's one there, and they're doing a show with Metallica. It's a 2-day event. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, let's, for shits and giggles, let's have a look at it. And I'm looking at these tickets, and I'm looking at the starting price. This is the cheapest tickets that you can buy for the concert, by the way. Nosebleed section right at the back, probably partially obscured by a column or some shit like that. $309 US. $309. I don't care if that's a 2-day show. Yeah, sure, $150 a day. That sounds alright to see Metallica and 9 Inch Nails. I don't know if they're both on at the same night, or it's, one night is 9 Inch Nails, the other night's Metallica. But these tickets start at $309. They go up to like $1,300 when you're down towards the mosh pit, and that's not including the VIP meet and greets bullshit like that. That's probably $4,000 easy dollars. $1,300 to be in the mosh pit for 2 days is a fucking rip-off. I don't care where you point. You can't paint it any other way. It is not worth it. There is no way that I would pay $1,300 US to go see Metallica and 9 Inch Nails both performing on 2 separate nights. No fucking way. That is just dumb. And it blows my mind. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, look, I spent money on Oasis recently, nothing too crazy. I think it was like $260 or whatever it was. And that was nosebleed sections, again, obscured by something. It was saying that you're not going to see the entire concert, pretty much. There might be a stage and there's a brick wall that ends there, or a bar in the way. So it is not glamorous tickets that we got to go see Oasis, me and Doz. But it's certainly going to be a fun night. I'm not denying that. However, people paid thousands of dollars to go see Oasis. Hell, you go over to England, there are people I know who are going to England. They're buying tickets, flight tickets, to go back home to England and go see Oasis. The tickets were probably like £800. Double that. That's how much it is pretty much in Australia. That's notoriously expensive. I'm taking a back seat going, yeah, ticket prices are absolutely stuffed right now. And I'm thinking, I went and did a bit of research. Ticketek is just price gouging us. Look, it's been no secret that for years Ticketek has been a terrible company. And of course, they're accused of several things in the past. And, you've got to think about it. Pearl Jam as well. Eddie Vedder was against Ticketek, has told us this for years and all the issues that it resolved. But it's still a problem because they had a merger a couple of years ago, and it was like the band, what are they called now? Live Nation Entertainment, I believe. Yeah, they merged with like another ticket company, and now they've pretty much got this monopolization on the whole ticket market. If you don't know, something like, I think it was 75% or 80% of tickets are sold through that Live Nation Entertainment group, which is a lot. And that's in the US market. Now, when you look at that, and say, all right, that means they can pretty much dictate the price as well. So they've done this on several times, and of course that's why in the recent years since COVID, you've seen the price rises as well. And they'll say, oh yeah, we need to get our money back. Bullshit. This is a company that makes billions of dollars a year. It's not like they really need their money back. They're just finding whatever reason they want to just raise the prices. Because if you look at the prices of what the tickets were back pre-COVID era, 2018 let's say, to what they are now, they've gone up something like 60-80%. For certain festivals, right? 60 to 80%. The cost of living between pre-COVID era to now is roughly 32%. That does not equate. Yes, we know Ticketek are price gouging us, and there's pretty much nothing that we can do. There is one thing, which I'll get to, but there is almost nothing that we can do. And they're also making up this whole dynamic pricing thing. That is a whole other debacle, because now that pretty much says whatever the supply of this ticket is, the demand, it dictates what the price is. So in the instance of Oasis, the supply or demand is through the roof. That means everyone wants to go see Oasis. That means prices go up. They're not locked in anymore. So when tickets are not locked in, that means that they can just go rise the price whenever they want, because people are going to buy them. If there's 10 people for every one ticket that is available, and they would say, oh, I want to pay this much or this much or this much, then the price keeps going up. It's almost like house prices, isn't it? Everyone goes for the auction these days because they're going to get more money from the auction. It used to be set prices, now it's not. House prices have gone up. It's an inflation thing. It's just bollocks. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, never mind the Sex Pistols. Here is the bollocks. It's Ticketek, and they're just price gouging and killing the whole industry. Live music venues are suffering because of Ticketek. It's not a secret. It's been known, and the thing is, it's been known for decades. It's sad to see it, and it's a terrible state of affairs. And I mean, it just sucks to really go through it all. On the other hand as well, when I was talking about Sex Pistols, I forgot to make the point that I mentioned here, which was like, they changed the whole genre, but you don't want to see Sex Pistols as they are. But it tarnishes their image. Imagine, like, for example, Nirvana got back together. Of course, Kurt Cobain's gone, but he can't do it. So that means, you would have to reach out to the previous members. You go to Pat Smear, the unofficial fourth member. You go to Dave Grohl, and of course, Kurt, the bassist. And you're looking at it going, all right, cool. Like, they're back together as much as they can be. But it's just not the same, is it? Imagine. And then on top of that, you get this half-assed kind of Nirvana atmosphere. Price gouging, again, tickets would go up massively, but it just ruins the image of Nirvana. Nirvana and Sex Pistols, when they both came out, they changed the whole style. They created this whole genre, highly iconic. And with the Sex Pistols doing what they're doing, sorry, you guys have gone down in my books. Yeah, but anyway, that's what happens when you got one album, and that's about it. So that's my rant for Ticketek. I mean, I was looking up, more into this, and if you're intrigued, maybe I'll do a more in-depth episode. Hell, I might even interview some artists or something like that. Comment below if you're interested in that. But anyway, let's move on to the next point, which is, yes, we are going to see a new Slipknot album. Inevitably, it's going to happen one day, isn't it? And it's going to be intriguing because Clown came out in an interview. He's talked about this new record that's come out, and for once, just once, they haven't so far mentioned, oh yeah, it's as heavy as Iowa. It seems to be like every album they did post Iowa, it's like, yeah, this is the next Iowa, it's that heavy, and or at least that's what the media seems to point at, paint it as that. But Clown's come out now and he's like, oh yeah, got some new material. Sounds like they're still in demo days, they're really early. But he's like, oh yeah, we're going back to early days, the way it used to be done. Definitely not Iowa days, but he's referring more to, like, sounds like their debut album. And he's like, I'm sitting back now and I just don't give a fuck. He's stated that, you know, I can't please everyone in particular in the band, so I'm taking a more backseat role, thankfully. And it could be interesting to see what comes out of it again, but we are talking about Slipknot, and the last effort that they made was just horrible. It was terrible, you know, and Adderall EP was fucking atrocious and just unnecessary. So I hope nothing in the way of, I hope they've learnt from their previous mistakes, you know, because the band itself, they were one of those bands that you could say had no bad albums. They were, but unfortunately that's all changed now. So yeah, look, they've got a bad album out. It sucks to say it out loud, but it's true. So I think it could be interesting what comes out of there, but still, look, it's really early days. But you know, hell, comment below. Would you want to hear what the new Slipknot album sounds like? I mean, there's like only one original member, which is Clown, isn't it? You know, Corey's not even the original member. The iconic singer, you know, and has been there for the longest, but he is not the original. So yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting one when talking about Slipknot in the near future. Maybe that'll be 2026 Slipknot review again. Fingers crossed, who knows. Anyway, we'll see what happens when that comes out of it. The next piece of news is that 2 of the Cradle of Filth members actually got married. I didn't know that. That's intriguing to say. I'm guessing that they'll start writing love songs next. Who knows with those guys. But yeah, I liked a bit of Cradle of Filth. I haven't listened to a lot of their music. Amphetamine Mix was about the only thing I really enjoyed from those guys. They've released a lot of albums, but I only liked like 1 or 2 tracks. Now, the other one I've written here, 6 Feet Under have covered 2 Cannibal Corpse songs. Doi, how is this news? I mean, yeah, of course, you know, 6 Feet Under were Cannibal Corpse back in the day. Apparently, maybe they were news because maybe they did really shit covers of these songs. You know, we know the vocalist is just not good. He sucks now. And there was another interview as well. He actually seemed to be doubled up on this interview and said, you know, oh, maybe it was my fault for the reason he got kicked out of the band. Whatever. You're in a new band now, and unfortunately that's really shit. It is what it is. 6 Feet Under suck. I reviewed them. You can listen to it. But vocals, oof, wow. I mean, you did... Hey, Cannibal Corpse, you did well by getting rid of him and bringing in Corpse Grinder. That's all I got to say about that. Not a big fan of Cannibal Corpse at the end of the day. But anyway, Exodus have also parted way with Steve Zetro Salza. This is old news. It happened a few weeks ago now, and they've reunited with Rob Dukes. I want to know, people, what are your thoughts in regards to that? Because I don't feel one way or another, to be honest. Exodus is out there. I don't mind some of their music. I've just never been a big fan. So yeah, you know, they're out there. They're doing their thing again. And oh, here we go. Tim Lambesis, everyone. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel again here. And I mean, look, I've covered him on controversial artists, you know, and where do you sit? And I've done a review, of course, on their most recent album. And I had half a mind to get rid of it, to be honest, when I heard of this news, thinking, maybe he deserves a second chance, you know. Maybe there's reasons that I'm just not aware of, and we're all not aware of, why his band just up and left him. But maybe then we're all wrong, and there is a very good reason why they all left. Because it seems like recent news has, you know, come out that videos have emerged of an altercation with his wife. We know what happened last time when it comes to him and his ex-wife. So please stay safe out there. It's just imperative, you know. If there's anyone out there who is his dealer and he hits you up about trying to find a hitman, go to the police. Just saying. But anyway, you know, it seems like there's been a fight. It was on video between him and his wife. I haven't watched it. I'm not surprised, to be honest, hearing about this. But also, it appears that he's been hurting a dog or whatever in this video, and that is pretty sad. I mean, to go out there and, you know, hurt animals and such, I just don't even know what to say, to be honest, at this point. I think I might actually have to revisit, you know, Tim Lambesis and I guess, go over his controversial statements, because, you know, at the end of the day, we covered him in what was a 10-minute section, and I've got ideas for a few future episodes that are going to be focused like an episode on one person, that kind of duration, and we go real in depth. But I feel like with Tim Lambesis, I've got to go back to him because of this new news. I think I decided I was going to listen to his music at the end of the day, but you know, I don't know if that'll change with this new news that seems to be coming out. It just seems like wherever he goes, there's just a fucking storm that follows him and nothing can be done about it. It just tends to be that way. Seems to be that type of person. He seems to be an aggressive little bastard, and everywhere he's going is just horrendous. Shitstorm follows. Stay out of his wake. So to all these former band members, congratulations for getting out of there. It sounds like you guys made the right decision and jumped ship when it was possible. And who knows what's going to happen with the future? Who knows? We might cover him again for the controversial artists, and I might get a new panel in this time, I guess, if I was going to do so. And I might reach out to the old panel just to see if they change their mind. But other than that, there's not really much else in the music news. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. But these seem to be the main headlines I guess we're talking about here. So tell me your thoughts on some of the news events that is going on at the moment, and what do you make of the whole Ticketek situation, or what do you make of the whole Randy Blythe one, or Cradle of Filth, or maybe there's something else you would like for me to have a look up and read and maybe mention in next week's one, as of course the week continues. So again, everyone, hope you've had a great day. Stay spicy out there and take it easy. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.